IBM should wake up. Ambuye, wake up. Mr. President, sir, wake up. Ambuye, we know your capabilities. Okay, Nduguzen, President IBM, Ndi muntu osaba. Even panobe nabeza information yobanga proof unena kuti ngakhale 2014 to 2019 IBM uje anangobagidwa bibi kuma bibi meje na ajina chiponda ajina chaponda, so not chiponda chaponda bibi meje na ajina kaliati bibi meje na ajina mwanamveka ndi maloya osiyana andali amene ankaba mujibu bibi muja komano IBM mazozola ni ma property ma plot onena kuti akalikali. I know one plot in Ilonga anagula 2012 President Arthur Peter Munthalika anagula plot 2012, but he hasn't built on that plot mpaka na panova. He's the poorest president in Malawi. IBM, he's the poorest individual who has become president in Malawi. I can challenge you. IBM walibe ndalama, and because he's not corrupt. IBM doesn't have real money. I mean, I knew what you might IBM and the bastard. Come in and investigation young. Find whom Makanda, Fun and Wuzen, Makamune, hey, Kamangila, why is in IBM? IBM, the corruption you. IBM is not corrupt, according to me. You know? And if he was to be corrupt, Sungamangi compare and Dijaguera, Sungamangi compare and Joyce Banda, Sungamangi compare and President Os. He's the less corrupt president we have ever had in Malawi. Even Bingu, Professor Bingu Munthalika, Ananimbava, if you compare and the IBM. You know, then Mangfuna Ngo Guzan is in CCs. Kabena Uri, Zirungam is in Amateur. Commane Zongalula, where the Zongalula, in my own Gandian. Where the Zongalula, imagine get from a point of Kungotian and Chenga Mumpunga. That's not what I'm doing. I'm not trying to Actually, I'm trying to remove stones from the rice so that you can eat properly, Malawi. In fact, I'm trying to find you the rice. There is no rice in Malawi. Kuma kuchakule mpunga uti mungaje. Ndukube zina ni mpunga kuti muje inu. Ndekumandi genda. Hey, wamisala mene. Wamisala ndi nuka. Dziko likabwanji dziko opanda fuel. How can a country be without fuel? And you are saying you have a parliament. Why do you have a parliament? For God's sake. For God's sake. Okay, why do we have a parliament? If I enter in the parliament, I say a judicial go. Why do we have a parliament? Amadana and Hamina Jao, the last month you what are they doing? What are they for? Why do you have a cabinet? We shouldn't have a cabinet if we can't even afford it. We have expenditures that we can't justify. Because when we spend, we should have an output to the expenditure. When we invest, when you put an input, comes with an output. So we should reflect as a country. This is not when our bank affect Panowe. We have to think economically. Parliament, finance parliament. Why are we still paying my MPs and we are buying them 300 million? What are the MPs doing? What is Suleiman doing really? As the speaker of the house, what are the leaders of the house doing? The leader of opposition, akupanga chani. All they do is to share our money. Remember banga yo jadwa mangantau ya abiawa. Kena kwa kangana kumangana, kena kwa abiawa. Wake up, wake up. Wake up. Bushiri wandi banga blog. Sisi ni bo. Bushiri manina udi mundi bembera kuti ndijine. Nemu kandi banga blog. The supernatural power, how are you going to connect to me? Shepard Bushiri, you have blocked me on Facebook. I can't tag you anymore. I wanted to tap from the power, the prophetic power. Now you have blocked me. Shepard Bushiri, join the Shepard Bushiri, and block me in Nzako Shepard. You know, I'm just a friend of life. I'm your friend of life. You know, you're my Bempera, my Punzisa. The gospel of Mina Gomane, I speak of the gospel of love, hope, and faith. We just differ on what kind of gospel we preach. You preach a different gospel of materialism, of being rich, of imminent solution pompo pompo ino ndi mulungu ndinophunzitsa chikhulupiriro cha mulungu wa pompo pompo. Ine ndimaphunzitsa mulungu wa patience, mulungu wa nthawi yake. The Bible says pali nthawi yolima, pali nthawi yokolola, pali nthawi yote. That's the God that I preach. The God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob, the God of Alexious, the God of Malawians. Ine ndi mulungu amene inu maphunzitsa za mulungu wa zatheka pompo pompo. Don't even inu abushiri maphunzitsa za mulungu wa oyendesa galimoto opanda engine. Ine ndimakhulupirira kuti mulungu amayika nzeru mwa ma engineers ndikupanga engine ija ndikuyika mgalimoto, ndipo ikaonongeka mulungu amayika nzeru mwa mechanic kuti ikonze galimoto ija. Kenako ndi mphamvu za mulungu zonsezo koma ndizosiyana. Za ineyo I can prove it. Kwa ineyo nzamatrikali ndiziwe mabanga. Komano ndeno timangophunzitsa gospel yosiyana. We teach different gospels. Just unblock me. We can continue our conversations. We can differ but approaches, but we are all human beings. Shepherd Bushir, unblock me for God's sake. Ndikuyano tu ukangopitiza usanipanga unblock. Ndipanga zayo Shepherd. Ndikubasa 24 hours. Sorry, 24 hours. Unblock me because I want my healing. Shepherd Bushir, unayambangani hola kuya. Wabudan hola kuya wambi. Oh, I was talking about Baba One. Baba One and Tumugumbanga defend. Hey, Baba One, amalimbikira. Hey, his business is structure. Even in Susan Namangai, one of the most passionate women I've discovered in Malawi. The Susan Namangai, fana wa chess. Amata chess kwambili and amalimbikisa chess over the world. Ndi matale nditu Malawi kucha. Ono Namangale advocacy mene wabanga amejama banga link ndi UN. Ku prison kujama pita ukaphunzitsa anthu. He does amazing work. But alibekali kose. She's not clever. She's clever. Doesn't she work hard? Susan amata magona matov every night trying to get things done. She receives international people just to come and see the work she does. She doesn't even have $1 million in her account. She doesn't. Nada. Nothing. No. You see Susan defending Prince the Baba. Prince the Baba is a passionate young man. Susan. This is why Kesianu do sangai passe dead. Ngadi maganizaga ya mena Kesianu majajaj. Azingo yangana sangai passe dead. Strong in the foundation of justice. Because if you are founded on justice, you can't be found defending Jaguar. Because you are Susan. I was telling you, let's abolish corruption. Let's get done with corruption in the judiciary, in the justice system. And you're like, yes, I know these people. I've got my own experience. Let's go, Alexious. And then in the other brief, you're saying, Chakwera is the solution to Malawians. I'm like, come on, Susan, come on. What are you talking about? Open your eyes, Susan, open. And I told Susan, as we were going to the, and I'm calling her Susan because we are friends. And I believe in first names. By the way, I have always been somebody who believes in people's first names. Since Zodin Amangari, and Bamboaga, Susani, Kabinandi. Susani doing this now, by the way, people think, hey, Alexious, anamopcheza Susan and can't be, hey, inus memubangazi, Alexious to be able to Malawi, Malawi. What? The cartel uses family, uses our friends, immigration should even as Busa. In as Busa, I'm mean that blah magofi, Tokanaba, what blogger. Chifuaja Uganiza, Kopusa, Makandi, Gospel, ya Bushiri. There are a lot of pastors that have the gospel of Bushiri. Some don't preach it, but they practice it. That's why Kyakwera had people around him, had pastors around him, because these are pastors that in practice, what we call de facto, by practice, de facto, they are prophetic Jesus Nation pastors. They are Jesus, they are, what is ECG, Madian? ECG, Tanzania. Yeah, they are ECG pastors in practice. So, someone's bang identifying that and have Bushiri. Bushiri. You have even Catholic bishops who are prophets in the Catholic Church. They behave in their actions. They don't preach the message of Shepherd Bushiri. They don't call themselves, I am Major One. No. But their actions, Catholic bishops, I can mention one or two, who behave like Bushiri, who preaches the gospel of Bushiri in their actions.